Hi, this is Joanne Hewins with lovetoCreate.typepad.com. This is our Wednesday class, April 8th, or a Wednesday card. I'm doing a card every day for the April class that I would have had we not been told to stay at home. So we're going to be doing this card today. It is from the Full of Happiness stamp set. Here's that. And it is an Easter card. And I know Easter is almost here, but it really wouldn't take that long to make it and stick it in the mail. You would still have a few days. For this, I'm using Thick Whisper White 5.5 by 8.5, and I have scored that at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold that, still kind of match my corners, and then I'll burnish that with a bone folder. I do, with the thick paper, suggest that you do a score line, and also suggest this thick paper, if you're using it as the base of your card, that's just the thing to do, to have it a nice sturdy base. The paper that I'm using today, the Designer Series paper, this one is from the Dino Roar Designer Series paper. It's cut at 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. And I just thought the egg paper would go well with the chick. You don't have to think that it's dinosaur eggs. And then the little chick feet are come from the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. And it is cut at 3 5/8 by 2 1/2. So the first thing we're going to do is adhere the papers to the front of the card. So here's the Dino Roar paper. It's going to go here, and I want it to have a border around it that's about the same on these three sides. And then we'll glue in or glue on the paper from Bird Ballad. I just thought these little chick feet went well with that too. So we'll glue that down, right in there. And we'll be ready to stamp our chick and our eggs. Those do come from the Full of Happiness stamp set. So I'm going to bring in some scrap paper, and we're going to stamp the chick for the outside, but while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and stamp a chick on the inside of the card as well. So I'm just going to kind of move this one out of the way so we'll have both surfaces that we can use. And the chick is going to be stamped in Daffodil Delight. So we'll do that here. The one that I'm going to put on the outside of the card doesn't need feet. The feet are hidden back behind the egg. Now this one that I'm going to put on the inside of the card will have feet. So I'm going to put it up a little bit higher to have room for those. Now you can see that this chick looks a little bit weird to start with. You have to put all of those pieces together. You have to do the chick, and then the beak, and then the eyes, before it actually looks as cute as it really is. So I'm going to do the beak now. I'm going to stamp that in Pumpkin Pie. Let me pull that over here. And this is photopolymer. It really isn't that hard to match it up when you're trying to tape it and you can't really stand over it. I usually put my face right over it Okay, those are not too bad. While I've got that orange out, I'll do the feet for my chick on the inside of the card. And then once he gets his eyes, he will look as cute as can be. And this stamp has a little smaller one on the left. That goes on the left. See how cute he is now? Okay. There we go. Now, if I were doing a bunch of these, I would probably set it up on the Stamparatus so that I could use the different layers and get each one done without a lot of effort on that. While we've got this far, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of the card. It is this saying, "May your Easter be full of happiness." This is actually my take 2 of making this card. The first one didn't go so well, so I had a little bit of ink there on the block. Much better. The M maybe isn't so great, but better than the one that I just decided to finally stop on and start over. Now we're going to work on the eggs for the card. These are going to be stamped in Pretty Peacock. And we'll need 2 halves for that. And then I'm going to stamp the design. Again, this is easier to line up when you're not on camera. Well, that's not too bad. Let's see if we can get the other one. Now I am going to wipe this ink off the corner, even though I am going to cut this out. I don't want to mess up that one. That's something to look at when you're doing your stamping, is if you end up with ink around the edges of your block, you're probably pushing down too hard, but you're also taking the chance that that's going to stamp on your card somewhere. And you know what the odds of that happening are. It's going to happen. So just wipe it off. Let me move these aside. And we're going to be cutting out the eggs. And for that, let me find it. Here it is. We're going to be using the Dino dies. These are from the annual catalog. And we'll be using this shape. It coordinates with the Full of Happiness stamp set. I'm going to pull in my big shot here. I have my base plate, the adapter. Mine somehow has gotten warped. Then I've got the clear plate, and I'm actually going to cut this chick off before I put this on here. And I am going to use some washi tape to hold this die in place. Oops. And let me get my clear plate. And I'll run this through. Now I could use my magnetic plate, and I'm sure that would be fine. I've just gotten to where I don't use it very often. So there's one of the eggs, and then we'll need to cut out the second one. Okay, that does it for the big shot. I'll set that out of the way. Okay, we'll carefully lift that up. And I'll just get that a little bit later and put all that away. All right, and now we are ready to cut out our chick. And the chick is really not very hard to cut out. He's got a little fluffy look here, but I'm not gonna go to a lot of trouble to cut all those little strands. I'm just gonna come out just a little bit so you can see them. And I'm not even going to worry about cutting down there because it will be covered. So let's bring in the card, and we'll be using some dimensionals. I'm going to add the chick first, and I'm going to use up some scraps on this. So we'll add the chick right in there. And then one of these will go right under the chick. Okay, so he'll go under like that. I could have done a little bit better job of cutting those out. And then this one is going to overlap just a little, so I'm going to put glue over on this corner to hold that in place. And then we'll use dimensionals around the rest of that. And there goes that. And then on the original card, we had hello as our saying. We're going to stamp that and the pretty peacock. And yes, I was looking to see if I had a lot of ink around the edges. I was going to try to clean that off if I did. And then I'm going to bring back in some scrap. Here we go. And I'm going to stamp these little flowers right here in Daffodil Delight. And then I'm also going to stamp one here on the inside. And then, yes, I hate to say it, we're going to fussy cut around these flowers. I just felt like those eggs, even though they had a design on them, I just felt like they needed a little something else. And these flowers are it. I'm one of those people who do love to fussy cut. And I know a few of my class members do not. Okay, there's one, and I'm going to add that with a glue dot to one of my eggs. And then we'll cut out this other one. Okay, that didn't take too long maybe. We'll add a glue dot to the center of that one and put it here. And then, here we go. We're going to be using the 2019-2021 in color faceted dots to adhere to our little flowers. So let me pull that out, and we'll put one of the smallest ones right in the middle of that flower and one right in the middle of this one. And that will finish up our card. Let's take a look at those. So this is the one I had made before, and this is the one that we just made, and or vice versa. I think this is the one we just made actually. And look how cute they are. Pretty easy to make. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm doing a class every day for the week of April the 6th through April the 10th. One card each day. I will have a downloadable tutorial for you on my blog post, which will be linked to this video. If you comment that you have looked at my video, I'm giving away each day a pack of 25 different pieces of cardstock. These are cut to 4 by 6, so they would be a good card front for you, so 25 card fronts. And this would need to be someone in the United States. At the end of the week, if you have commented on every one of my my posts for the week, and you tell me on that last one, on the Friday one, that you looked at this one or looked at the one for Friday and then also looked at all of them, I'm going to give away a stamp set to someone that has done that. The choices are Little Ladybug, The Gang's All Mere, or Happy Birthday to You. These were some leftovers that I had from Celebration, and I'd be glad to pass that along to someone in the United States. I am doing these videos all week for my class, and if you need to order, I would appreciate it if you would consider me. You can link to my online store from this video or from lovetocreate.typepad.com. I'd be glad to help you out and be your demonstrator. Thank you so much. That's it for the Wednesday, April 8th class. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.